What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Ethereum today, ETH USD. It is the 28th day of June, and here we are sitting at about $1,500. I guess closer to $1,600, $1,574. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. We've got about 11 hours left in the day. Let's get into it. Right now, on the daily time frame, it certainly does seem as though we have a double bottom forming for Ethereum. If it is a double bottom, if it is, then I think we could count on prices potentially returning back to $2,000 and above. I really do think that that's a possibility from here. Typically, with these double bottoms, you get some type of W shape. You typically do go back to where the W started, and if not even through there. I don't think that we're in a very bullish phase right now for Ethereum, a more bearish phase. So I don't assume that we're going to recover all the way up, but I could see us recovering to this point where we started to fall off a cliff and maybe even a little bit above there. And then that right there, that is a prior area of resistance there. It's a prior area of resistance here. I mean, hell, if I could just do this, let's see. It's like right there in this kind of prior area of resistance. I wonder even from a high to a low where that might take us. Just above the golden ratio, so maybe I'm a bit overzealous, maybe we stop a little bit lower, but again, closer to this point where that drop, that cliff edge kind of was right there. So somewhere around $2,000. We probably go just above $2,000, and that gets people very excited. Very, very excited that we're going just above $2,000. The bull market's on. Ethereum's bottomed. It's time to go. And then we dump. That's probably exactly what will happen over the coming weeks, months ahead. I don't expect it to just be a straight line up. But again, with these W shapes, it's probably not going to be like this. Right? Like it's not going to be like this to get to the top. It's a W shape for a reason. So it won't be a straight line, right? Like this was not a straight line, but kind of, right? You see what I'm saying? Anyways, let's get into the short-term stuff. We'll zoom in and then zoom out. How's Bitcoin doing here? Bouncing right off that 236. Maybe that'd be a good place to bounce. Maybe. If not, it's probably going to go lower. Ethereum, 1 hour time frame. Not a lot of volume. Speaking of which, do we have volume? No, not a lot of volume on this move. I think we're going to come back up. Here's a little trick for you. Okay, looking at Bitcoin. I mean, you look at this candle. There's no wick to the upside at all. This is not a perfect trick, but it does work a good bit of the time. Okay, it's like a high probability little magic trick we're going to do real quick. It's the beginning of the hour. We have 8 minutes into this hour. There's no wick to the upside. We just dropped straight down. And not only did we drop straight down, it's a pretty sizable one relative to any of the movements we've seen recently. We saw no volume at all. You expect me to believe that in the beginning of the hour, where there's no volume, that we're just already down more than any of these other candles here, relatively speaking. You expect that it's going to keep going? I don't think so. This is a trap. This is where these kind of movements happen, where you get these massive wicks. And maybe we go lower. Maybe we do go lower, but I would assume we do recover. This kind of stuff, I think it generates psychological damage to some people. Anyways, just an idea. And now that I've said that idea, watch us drop like to 59K. But still, it's just an idea. Ethereum here, 1 hour time frame, or maybe it's an observation more than an idea. Not a lot of volume. Not a lot of volume here. We are dropping a little bit. The RSI is pretty neutral, but it is taking on a bullish shape, right? You got these higher lows, which is nice. You've gotten overbought. You did not get oversold. And you're in this kind of neutral phase right here. But overall, I think you are actually starting to shape up in a bullish way, which is nice because you also have that double bottom playing out for you on Ethereum. Stochastics rejecting the overbought zone, not as nice, might be coming down. MACD did cross green here, but you also might have a false cross to the green effect. You could come down. You are set up to go lower. You definitely are set up to go lower, but it just depends on what you do. I mean, it's the beginning of the hour. All these looks could go away. All these like potentially bearish looks could go away and turn very bullish if we can actually move up and recover by the end of this hour, which again, it's only been the first 9 minutes of this hour. We moved down a lot, relatively speaking, without any volume at all to back it up. I could really see us recovering here. You've been pretty volatile. Why not continue to be volatile? 4 hour time frame. RSI is a bit bearish, right? You've got these lower highs coming in. You did kind of break through it here. The difference here is whenever you found this high, you went straight down. Whenever you found this high, you went straight down. Whenever you found this high, you're staggering a little bit. It's still, I think, too early to say, but I mean, if we can get back above this 50, not only did you reject this level and then answer, but you also rejected the 50 and didn't let it push you down. And then on top of that, of course, you're breaking out of this overall downtrend. So you're in a position where you could show strength. You just, if you want to, you have to do it now. You don't want to close this red. There's still about 3 hours left in this candle. Plenty of time to go. The stochastics, to me, look bullish. I mean, typically, you don't find resistance here on your stochastics, which would imply that we do have growth coming in. Typically, I mean, like, when's the last time that we found resistance right there? You don't. Right there. There you go. One time out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 iterations. 12. We don't typically find resistance right here. And if we went back further, I'm sure we'd find even less iterations of that. I mean, just there's no points at which we find really any support or resistance at that level, like at all. There you go. There's one. It really doesn't happen often. Not that it can't happen now. Again, statistics mean sometimes it does happen, but most of the time, not so much. The MACD on the 4 hour still looking pretty bearish, but again, it depends on what we do with this 4 hour candle. If we can come up and close it green, you're actually building bullish momentum. That could look good. It could look good. Daily time frame. It's also the weekend. Don't have too many expectations on the weekend. I like the daily RSI. Bouncing off the oversold zone is a good thing. We got pretty deep in the oversold zone last time over here, and then we bounced off the oversold zone. And what happened? When we bounced off of it here, we found a little momentary bounce, and we still went lower. A higher low overall, but we still went lower. And then what happened? We bounced off the oversold zone again, and then we moved higher. So, one way or another, whether this is the low, whether we bounce and then we go a little bit lower and then we find the low, we get rid of our double bottom and instead we're doing something else entirely, I do assume we're at a low point. Whether it's here, whether it's there, whatever the case may be, I do assume we're at a low point. We're probably going to move our way back up above $2,000 if I had to guess. Daily MACD crossed red yesterday, yes, for Ethereum. And now with today, even being a little bit green like this, you're looking to kill off that bearish momentum and potentially flip green. This would be very bullish if you could flip green soon. If you could get a false cross, what I like to call a false cross here, right? Like this, that's a false cross. That's a false cross, but to a bearish effect. That's not a good thing. False cross there, again, to the bearish effect, not a good thing. False cross here to the bullish effect. That was a good thing. If we can get this to be a false cross, that would be nice. That'd actually be really nice. False cross, it doesn't have to be that day, like we don't need to flip green right now. It doesn't even have to be tomorrow that we flip green, but sometime soon. You don't want it to be a long-lasting iteration. That would actually be probably the most bullish signal here. And then the stochastics, they're reset. They are bearish, technically being oversold, but they are reset, and you look like you want to come out of the oversold zone. So we'll see how it goes. I don't really have anything else to say. That's probably it. Weekly time frame. Actually, looking at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's interesting, my friends. That is interesting. Right at the 0.5. Right at the 786. Right at the 886. That is interesting. The reason why it's interesting. Elliott wave, Elliott impulse wave. Impulsive waves are 5-legged moves. They are. And what that would mean, in theory, it's a big if, big maybe, but it would mean that Ethereum's bear market's over. Which would be wild if it bottomed before Bitcoin. It could happen. Stranger things have happened. And Ethereum, to be fair, never really had a bull market, did it? It just kind of moved sideways. Very choppy and sideways. We are at this local double bottom, but also the overall double bottom. Where we found support even before then. Where we found some resistance here, you know. Where are we in the context of this fib? Right in the golden ratio. I didn't expect to say this in this video. It's more possible, in my opinion, that Ethereum has found its bear market low than Bitcoin has found its bear market low. It's actually, I would say, completely more possible. Now, if we go below here, if we go lower, well, in a very short amount of time, if we see a consolidation phase like this happen, it probably is the low, man. I mean, we can. That doesn't mean that we're in bull market rally time, but we might be in an accumulative zone where we don't go too much lower or lower at all. Low to high. If it is the low, we'll have to get a week to close above $2,250 to validate that. Time will tell. I got nothing else for you guys. We're just talking at this point. 15 minutes into this candle, look, right? You've already come back up. You're waking back up. See? That's a good trick if you're looking to enter a long position. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Just food for thought. It's an observation. Are there times where you do dump down and you get no wick to the upside? Sure, there are. Let's see if we can find one. There's, I don't know. I don't think that, yeah. Right here. Right there, right? You moved down probably very fast. You did not come back up. You were bearish, but you were just breaking out. Okay? Here, you moved down pretty fast. You're at the top. You did not come back up. Here, we're being choppy. We're being volatile. Kind of a different scenario, right? Anyways, hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'm expecting that Ethereum will work its way up to $2,000 or more over the coming weeks. Bye-bye.